Hey everybody, it's on screen, off screen. Wait, on screen, off screen. Yeah, I said that right. With Josh Conlon and myself. I feel like we hardly ever hear from Josh first, so let's start with Josh.
Okay, my first topic is because of Conlon. He talked about this just last week about why this show is so important to him. I've been making an effort to get to know my co hosts a little bit better by trying to consume the things that they consume. And this is important to him. So I watched Kyle XY. So my first topic is season one of Kyle XY. And I just jotted down a few notes while I was watching it. And my first note is, oh, the days when doctors and teachers could just kidnap children. Because she's just like, this is my patient, I'm going to take him home. And the cop is like, okay. And I'm like, that would not be acceptable today. Like, not at all. Like, there was a day when, like, teachers could, like, do home studies or come tutor or whatever. And now it's just the world sucks so much more. So I just thought that was funny. I'm not saying that as a criticism, but like just like a funny thing. Then there's a scene with our main character Kyle and his love interest Lori, Amanda. I don't remember which one it is.
Amanda's the love interest.
Amanda, where she's teaching him how to swim and she puts him on his belly. And I was like, what the hell? Who teaches somebody to swim by shoving their face in the water like that? Like, Colin's a big swimmer. I'm pretty sure Lauren knows how to swim. But, like, I texted a friend and I was like, when you learned how to swim, was it to learning to float on your belly first? Because, like, for me, it was on my back. And I feel like anybody who would do anything other than on your back is psychotic. That is psychotic behavior to me. Um, Lauren, did you learn how to swim by floating on your back or on your belly?
um, I was never taught how to swim, but I do swim a lot. It was just I kept running to the deep end of the pool, and my dad wasn't fast enough to get me. So I just like learned how to doggy paddle, so it was belly first for
Okay,
me.
well, that's self teaching. I'm not counting that. Conlon?
I don't remember. I learned how to swim when I was like 3. My grandpa would take me to a pool in Orem that I think has been torn down now. And he somehow taught me how to swim. And then eventually I got to the point where I would swim between his legs and he would give me money. And that's kind of how I learned. And then when I was 4 years old, I would go and jump off the diving board. And the lifeguards would try to stop me from jumping, and my grandpa would just laugh at them and be like, "Watch this," and then he would throw me in the water, and I would just swim over to the other side. But I don't remember how I learned, to be honest.
Okay.
I did teach swimming lessons, and when I taught swimming lessons, I definitely started on their back, and then I would have the little kids, and I'd like grab them under their shoulders, and I'd be like, "Make the motorboat," brrr. And then I would kind of as they were motorboating, maybe this makes me a psycho. I don't know, but it really worked really well. I would push them under for just a second, and then they'd be like, and you would get to where you would push under, and they would just kind of get used to it, and
Yeah,
they would see all their friends doing it, and then all of a sudden everybody could swim.
right.
But it
I
was a
fully
gradual thing.
understand that, like, learning to have your face in the water is a big deal, right?
Yeah, but back first.
But back first, that was my friend's response too, was that they didn't remember, and I was like, I see it in media all the time where like characters or people will talk about like how they were taught how to swim, and in movies and stuff it's usually like my dad threw me in the water and said don't drown or whatever. Like, for me, I was also super young when I took swim lessons, but I still very much remember what that was like, and so I was like, that's not like a iconic memory for everyone. Anyway, I still think it's psychotic to do belly first, because I'm like, you want to teach them how to float before you teach them how to not drown. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I thought it was weird. Um, then we go into the basketball episode, And I was like, it's amazing how many times someone, quote, hit a buzzer beater and won the championship. Which, in reality, they're talking about it twice. But it's two different characters. They phrase it in the exact same way, and they say it 7 times. I went back and counted. And I'm like, who wrote this? And then the basketball scene actually happens, and I was like, okay, somebody who doesn't know basketball, because this is insane. Um, for me, it was very interesting to watch because I watched a show called Baby Daddy first a long time ago. I really like the show. It has both Kyle and Josh from Kyle XY in it.
Kyle is in Baby Daddy? I don't remember
Yeah,
Kyle.
he
I remember Josh.
plays the rich love interest of the girl
Oh,
who like does
I
all
don't
the
remember that
charity
at
and is like
all.
this perfect guy, and then they make him be a bad guy just for the sake of making him a bad guy so you can root for the other couples. Yeah, he's in it for quite a bit actually. But the whole time I was watching it, I was like, I just see the characters from Baby Daddy. Like Josh is just Josh. Like that is the same
100%.
freaking guy, except his name is Ben in Baby Daddy. Like it's the same thing. He has the same quirks. He does the same kind of behaviors. It is wild. Um,
Same character. 100%.
Charlie, let's see, who's Charlie?
Charlie's Amanda's boyfriend who's a scumbucket
Yeah,
weasel.
he's a dumb character. And here's why he is a dumb character. He was originally an honorable, honest person, right? He stood up for the other guy when he was hurt in basketball. He liked uh, the love interest who was, a good person, a quote unquote church girl. Um, and then all of a sudden they're like, and he's a cheater. And I feel like the only reason that they did that was because they wanted you to not like him so that when they broke up, you'd be happy that she got with Kyle. And it's not actually like character development. It was just like, this is the lazy thing we need to do just to get the plot to go where we want it to go, rather than just like, I don't know, sometimes relationships don't work even though both are good people. Like, that
Good point.
can happen. You can do that. You don't have to be like, hate this guy. Now they're with the main character. And I was just like, that is just honestly a little bit lazy. Lori and Hillary, the sister and the sister's best friend, are horrible human beings. They have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Um, the parents are awful. Um, they're not good parents. They 4 different times reject Kyle and have to learn the lesson to accept Kyle in the first 2 episodes, and then it never comes up again. There's all these plot lines that happen with the parents that just go nowhere. Like there's the whole like dad and he has to learn, or he stands up to his boss and says, we have to tell them that we're laying them off. And the boss goes, okay, you can tell them when you get in tomorrow or Monday or whatever. And then he's got this real sinister look in his eye when it cuts to the boss. And then we never see what happens with that. It's just God.
I don't
I don't
remember
know.
that at all.
Whatever. Um, Overall, season 1 is fantastic. I think it absolutely holds up. It is still a very great watch of a show. It is very interesting. Uh, a lot of the social dynamics, I was very, very interested. The mystery was compelling enough to get me to be super excited to watch the next episode. Uh, the last episode is horrible. I hate when shows do this thing where they put the main character in a room with a person who has the answers, and the person who has the answers says, I can't tell you because you need to get the answer from somebody else. It is so lazy. Like, we
Very
can't
fair.
figure out a plot reason. as to why they have to wait for the answer. So we're just going to just not tell you why. Why don't we get the answers? I don't know. You just gotta wait because you gotta wait. Um,
We got another season. You gotta wait.
yeah, I feel like they were filming the last episode and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna have this like ability to where I think his name is Adam can give the answers." And then they were like halfway through filming, and then they got greenlit for season 2, so they were like, "Nice, we can make him wait." And then they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, how do we make him wait? Oh, we're just gonna do it." Um, but yeah, super super interesting. I really really like a lot about this show. There's not much I don't like about the show. Like those are just like mostly funny comments, and like even though Hillary and Lori are horrible humans, doesn't like ruin the show. You still absolutely buy the brother sister combination of her and Josh. Hillary's a very is probably the most consistent character out of all of them. She never pretends to be somebody she's not, which I really really like. Um, all that being said, I'm giving season 1 a 9, because like I couldn't. I always wanted to watch the next episode. I was like this. The mystery wasn't like the super interesting thing. I really liked all the social dynamics and the idea of having to learn those as a teenager rather than grow up then being a teenager. Um, and for the most part, like most people are trying to do good things. Like honestly, my biggest criticism and why it's not nearing a 10 is in the first episode, Kyle learns the importance of honesty, right?
Yeah.
Lori has a struggle with honesty. Josh has a struggle with honesty. They all come to the end. Oh, and the love interest has Amanda has
Amanda.
a struggle with honesty. They all decide to tell the honest truth. They all have good outcomes. They all come to Kyle and be like, "You did the right thing by telling me." And literally, the first episode ends with him saying, "I guess sometimes I do need to lie." And I was like, how'd you get that lesson, my guy? Because literally everybody was happy that you told the truth. Everybody. This worked out the best
Every single
for
person.
everyone, 100% of the time. What are you talking about? But that is like, if that scene didn't happen, I think it would have been more compelling to see somebody as a teenager always wanting to tell the truth and
Hmm.
make more sense. But I do knock it down a point just because of that whole like I genuinely don't understand how you came to that conclusion.
That's
It's
fair.
just fun.
That's very fair.
So yeah, that's my
Cool.
first topic, season 1.
I am a little surprised that it was that high, to be completely honest. I'm happy because I do love this show, but this is a show that I realize I could have some major rose colored glasses on and nostalgia. I haven't seen it in a long time, and it was just like such a big part of my early teenage years. Um, it's cool that it was I. You're going to be
Yeah,
a lot more objective on this. It actually makes me like the show even a little bit better because I realize that I'm not just being nostalgic. It's not just. It's a good show. Woohoo! It's got a Josh approval, guys.
yeah. It like I said, any show that is like, I can't wait to watch the next episode. You can't rate it lower than a 7. And then
Yeah.
everything that it does really well, and like I said, it does Kyle very well. I think it does have problems. There's inconsistencies with characters. Uh, the parents aren't very good parents, but like that's kind of stuff you
Do you
accept from this show.
think there's times where the parents are good, or do you
No,
just
they're
don't think
always
the parents are
terrible.
good?
They're
That's too bad.
terrible parents. Like, how do you judge the success of a parent?
Um, being constantly there for their kids, being disciplined when you have to be disciplined, but showing kindness
And how their kids turn out. I think is a fair
and
one.
how their kids turn out.
If generally the
Yeah.
kids turn out good, they're usually being pretty good. Their kids are horrible. They're straight up half of the or the end of the first season where the mom just like neglects everyone because she's sad about Kyle. You know, there's
Yeah,
the
that's true.
whole like
That's true.
father daughter talk about, virginity and stuff. And you're like, dude, you're not helping her at all. There are good talks that they have. Like, I think the mom's talk with the daughter is good to an extent, but it doesn't really address any issues. And she makes an assumption about the daughter losing the virginity and then goes and tells the dad she lost her virginity without any kind of confirmation or knowledge on the subject. Just, I know because I'm a woman. I was like, okay. I think you're causing a father daughter dynamic issue there by making an assumption. So,
And you're a therapist that's taught not to do that
yeah,
specifically.
yeah. So, like, they all do good things, they all do bad things. I wouldn't want to be a parent like either of these two are parents, and I wouldn't want my kids to turn out like Lori or Josh. They are horrible, horrible human beings. They lie and cheat and have no consequences ever. And
I think you're gonna really like where Josh goes. Actually, did you watch season 3 at all?
if you look at my next topic, it is season 2, episodes 1 through 6. So,
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Season 3, we talked about. I don't like it nearly as much, but Josh's arc in season 3 is very good. It's probably the best part of this show. Would you agree with that, Lauren?
I can't remember Josh's
The
arc.
whole thing he does with his girlfriend who's sick. You remember
I
that?
don't think that I watched that because I
Oh,
think
it's
I
so
got
good.
through season 2 and didn't like it. I don't think I ever saw season 3.
It's very, very cute. It's really good. Anyway, cool. Laura, what do you think? What next? Is it season 2, or we move on to a different topic?
I was gonna say, do you want to keep talking with season 2, Josh, since we're on the topic?
sure, I can go on and keep talking. So, my next
Yeah.
topic is Kyle XY season 2. Um, the intro of the girl was led up to the entirety of season 1. Uh, it very clearly could have been a situation where the bodyguard guy, Tom, saves the girl because of the conversation he had with Kyle. And it very much alludes to him having a moment about that. And then it just doesn't. And I'm very much confused by that narrative choice. And then she wakes up, she goes out into the woods, and she kills a guy. And I'm like, that was just so unnecessary, right? Like, you establish that these people don't understand human emotion or situationship, right? Kyle straight up walks into the city butt ass naked. He doesn't understand that he's doing something wrong. And then you did this whole like girl being assaulted by creepy guy thing, and she kills somebody, and then you just kind of pretend that that doesn't happen for the rest of the first half of season 2. Uh, Not a big fan of that. It
That does come back later on.
I
Just
know it comes
saying.
back a
Yes.
little bit, and I'm sure that they don't drop it entirely, but then you get into it and you learn that the big bad company from season 1, oh no, there's just a bigger, badder company in season 2. And I'm like, how lazy are these writers? Like, that's genuinely how it feels at this point in time to me. They're not coming up with
Sure.
new ideas. They're not trying anything new. They're like, well, we got a season 2, so season 1 was the villain was a company, so season 2 is gonna be a bigger company. And Lauren and I talked about this when we talked about Zootopia. Um, you either have to effectively establish another bigger threat or change the things that the characters are facing. So in Zootopia 2, they face personal issues rather than a bigger issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does the sequel trilogy of Star Wars suck so bad? Because it feels like this new threat comes out of nowhere and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a bigger, badder empire. Well, what are we
That makes
doing
sense.
here? There's just a bigger, badder empire that comes out of nowhere, right? Um, there was no clues to another parent company in season one. They didn't allude to there being fallout issues. Tom, as an employee of Zizix, would have known that there was a parent company and known that bombing the one bunker wouldn't have solved all the issues,
That's fair.
and just like does it. And it's like, season two sucks. Like, it is
Dang, that's
hard
too
to
bad.
watch season two. They try and just make it all about the mystery. The mystery isn't what I was interested in season one. I was very interested in the social dynamics, like I said, of learning how to be a teenager as a teenager rather than somebody who has grown up. Um, and then we have this new character who is a psycho murderer chick. And we're just like, that's fine. Hope she is as good as Kyle. And she looks like Michael Jackson to me. So all I see is Michael Jackson wandering around, and I'm like, I'm at a point where I don't want to keep watching this show. Like, I wanted to get
Dang.
halfway through season two so I could be like half of season two, part one, and part two, and then talk about season three. But I'm like, I don't want to watch season two. I don't care about this new bigger company. I don't care about this mysterious ring that Kyle had that is never shown being given to him that he cares a lot about for some reason. I don't care about the Amanda Kyle relationship. I think they're both good people, but that's not a relationship I would want to have or to copy. Um, so it's just like a whole bunch of the, like, I would say season one is like the good side of CW, and season two is
Mm-hmm.
the bad side of CW. And it's not even a CW show, and that's where I'm at. And it's like, I probably should continue watching season two. I already kind of don't want to. I went from, I really want to watch the next episode in season one, and I can't wait to watch the next episode, and I can't wait to figure this out, and I can't wait to do that too. Wow, this feels like really lazy writing, and I'm not excited about it, and that kind of sucks.
That does kind of suck. I'm sorry, man. I was hoping you would like season two as much as I do because I very much like season two. I'm actually looking at the episodes and it's like 3 episodes from a great one, like great episode. Um, but if you don't like it, man, you don't like it. That's totally fine. That is totally fine. It's an area where, like I said, I might have rose-colored glasses because of how much this meant to me growing up.
Yeah.
And that's like you can quit it if you need to. If it's that miserable for you,
I
you
don't
could
need to.
quit it.
It's not miserable. It's just like,
Okay.
I could watch an episode of Kyle XY, or I could watch an episode of Taskmaster, or I could watch an episode of something else. You know, we had this conversation last week of like,
Yeah.
keep watching something mediocre or try and find something really good. And I think this is falling on the shy side of mediocre. Like right now, 6 of the 23 episodes in, I would give season 2 a 4.
Okay.
Like, it is.
Just like not horrible, but just not good. And one of those things where we're literally looking for stuff that there's just so much good material out there. It's really hard to spend time on something that's not good. It's really hard.
Yeah. Um,
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. If you keep watching it, I'd be super interested what you think. of season 2. I totally get if you don't watch season 3, especially with what I said about it. But cool. Yeah. What do
Um,
you think the chances are you keep watching it?
Pretty good. There's not any
Okay.
like shows high on my to watch list, so I may just turn it on when I have some
Okay.
time. But I'm not. I'm definitely not going to be like consistently watching it either.
Yeah. It's not something that's going to grip you like it was before.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. With that, let's go to Colin's topic.
Okay. I actually changed what my topic was because I switched it around. Reminders of Him. Have either of you heard of this movie?
Nope.
Okay. I wish I liked this more because it has all the keys to be good, but it's just not. There's some things that bug me about it. But basic story is this girl, um, our main character, gets convicted of manslaughter against her boyfriend because of a car crash where she supposedly fled the scene while he was still alive, and that resulted in his death. And she goes to court and admits that pleads guilty to manslaughter. So she gets 7 years in prison. While she's in prison, she figures out that she's pregnant. She delivers the baby. They literally take the baby out without her ever holding it. Like, they don't ever give her the baby. They give it to her grandparents, the guy's parents. She gets out of prison and she moves to this town to reconnect with her daughter, who is now, she gets out of prison a little early. I think she's 5 years old, 5, 6 years old. And it's a romance story where she falls in love with her ex's, the one that died's best friend, who has basically become a surrogate father for her daughter. This movie would be significantly better if it wasn't a relationship movie, if it wasn't a romance, because everything about the best friend that she falls in love with romance feels forced. Every single aspect of it feels forced. This is a good guy. I could 100% believe him wanting to reconnect this woman with her daughter. I could 100% believe him hiring her as a dishwasher for his restaurant. I believe all of that. But they have this moment where it's gone from like I don't really trust you. You're the person that killed my best friend, to okay, cool. We can get along. You're not a monster. You are a decent human being. To all of a sudden they're making out. And it's out of freaking nowhere. And it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. And it would be so much better if they were just friends. And I don't know why movies can't do that, or why so many things don't do that. It's okay for people to just be friends. This girl
Thank you.
has nobody in. Oh, go ahead.
I just said thank you because I hate that everything like relationships get pushed so much,
It
like
sucks.
romantic relationships.
And in this one, this girl just needs help. She's gotten out of prison. She has absolutely no one. And her daughter was literally taken out of her arms. Like, she has nothing. But her story is really sad and makes you empathize with the character, which is where I say I wish I liked this, because I love that aspect of it. You want to like the main character. The main character is extremely likable, in my opinion. Um, but it doesn't make sense to me. Like, heroin addicts get access to their children. No, I don't believe that somebody who got in a car crash and was drunk and happened to flee the scene, yes, that's a horrible thing to do. That's not a good thing to do. But I don't believe that that person would not have any access to their daughter at all. I don't buy that. Um, I don't buy that they would literally take the daughter away from her right after she gave birth for a very reason of the baby sitting on the mom's chest is creates a hormonic bond that is good for the child. Very basic level, that would not happen. I don't buy it. I don't buy that they would fall in love. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I think that they would be really great friends. Um I don't buy that the parents of the guy who died, who are taking care of the daughter, would hate this girl so much. Yes, she fled the scene. Yeah, all of that. But she was your son's girlfriend for a year. You guys didn't know her in high school? Bull. No. You absolutely knew who she was, and you absolutely would know that she wasn't the person that would do this. It comes to fruition that she tried to get help and nobody would help her. Nobody would stop. And she was on some kind of drug, but she blacks out and then she wakes up in the morning and her boyfriend is dead. The problem with this is she took one gummy hours before this crash. No, she's not going to block out from one gummy. Stupid. Like, there's just, the show could be so good. The characters are good. Go ahead, Josh.
I hate to interrupt your thought process there. I
Hmm?
just want to interject with a little bit of information just so that you are aware.
Yeah,
Um, Incarcerated women rarely get to hold their babies immediately, as infants are taken within 24 hours for placement with family or to be placed into foster care. So, her not getting to hold their kid is something that absolutely does happen.
that is horrible. Genuinely, that's a horrible thing.
I'm not saying it is good or bad. I am saying that
I
it's
didn't think
just
that
what
was realistic at
happens.
all. I didn't know that. That's sad.
As
Very sad.
for the gummies, everybody has different tolerances, and nobody has the same reaction to it. As well as you said, she took one gummy and was drunk, so that also plays a role into
But
her
it was
mental state.
hours before. Like, they do a skinny dip. They sleep with each other. They like cuddle for a while. Like, literally goes from middle of the day to being nighttime when as she's had this gummy. And maybe she had more, but they should have shown that. They should have shown like we had more and more and more and more, and she got more and more intoxicated. But it doesn't show that in the story. So from my point of view, she had some alcohol and a gummy at like noon, and then this crash happens at 9. And
It's still in their
I don't know.
system, and everybody has different tolerances. Like straight up,
Maybe,
if you gave that to me, I would
maybe,
probably still be high because I've never done it, so my tolerance is zero.
maybe.
Right?
I don't
And
know. I
like
didn't. I didn't believe
when
it.
you talk about gummies, there's definitely different effectivenesses of the gummies too, right? You could have a very strong one, you can have a medium one, you can have a, so like I don't know, I don't have any kind of problem with that.
I
I
did.
agree with your analysis that like this show would be better if they did more of that kind of stuff and changed those things. But just wanted to interject and let you know like the mother thing absolutely does happen. It's 100% a thing. Happens more often than it doesn't. And when you're talking about drugs and stuff, there's no way to definitively say what would or would not happen to each individual person because we all have different livers, we all have different tolerances, we all have different stuff, right? Like that's just the way that it is.
Commodores, if you have experience with drug use, I would love to know your thoughts on this because
We won't tell the
I don't
cops.
I don't buy it.
Does it
Hopefully,
even
you're
say
in
what
like
the gummies were?
marijuana gummies.
Is that your assumption or is that what they say that they
No,
are?
it says that. It
Okay.
says that. Yeah, that wasn't anything harder. Like, I still don't really buy it. You guys can watch the scene if you decide you want to watch this movie. Um, it's it's not horrible, and the problem is I do like all the characters. The guy that she falls in love with is really sweet with the daughter. The daughter is absolutely charming, very very funny. Whoever played her did a great job. Um, the grandparent, like all the acting is good, all of it's good. It it's one that bugs me more that I don't like it because really everything is there. It should be a really good movie. Um, but I just didn't like it very much. I'm giving it a 5.5 because I would rather watch it than Black Panther, and it could have been good. It really could have been. It could have been a Conlon highly recommends this romance movie kind of a movie because there's enough nuance there, but it just didn't work for me, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. So I can't remember if I teased last week that I was like, it's Noah Kahan's album or whatever
I think you've
release.
teased 2 weeks in a row, I think.
I know I've told you guys. I don't know if the podcast knows.
Ooh.
But anyway, so it dropped last week, and that's like the only thing I've been listening to on repeat. So I'm doing like a part one for this episode, and the next episode you'll get part two. And I'm only going over like 5 songs each time, and there's 21 songs on the album. So it starts off like with this really pretty like piano thing going, and I was like, when I first started listening to it, I was like, oh, I'm already gonna start crying. um, and so I just wrote down some of my favorite lyrics of these 5 songs that I'm gonna go over. So end of August, uh, it's it's funny because he has like this lyric that says, "Oh, and the feeling of being alive in a long time." Um, but in the chorus, it has everything you see out here will die. um, and so it's really like talking about like the seasons of your life. Um, and I really do like the sound of New Khan, and these lyrics paired with it are just really good. Um, I think the second song is Doors. Yeah, I don't think I skipped any songs in between here. Doors is like I kind of didn't listen to it the first time, and then the more I listen to it, I'm like the more devastating it gets. Um, there's a lyric that says, "Have you ever shared some closeness so exposed to have it spit back by someone?" And I was like, I know a lot of people who can relate to those lyrics, as well as myself. And then there's another part where it says, "Are you leaving?" And the person answering says, "No, babe, I'm just waking up." And I took that as somebody being like, yeah, no, I'm not coming back. I finally realized like how toxic everything is, and I finally understand it now, and I'm gone, type of a thing. Um, and the chorus of this song goes, "I keep showing you doors, but you can't open them up because it gets harder to see me the closer you try to look." It's like, I don't think that people realize how good a lyricist Noah Khan is. And I feel like he watched my life these past couple of years and then wrote an album about it. Like, I'm like, these are way too specific, dude, for me to be like. But then I go on to like TikTok, and there's all these other people who are really adhering to what Noah writes about. And he's writing about his experiences. And I think that makes a really great lyricist when they're able to have multiple people, like multiple dynamics. Well, I think there was like the count of how many people had listened to the song one morning was like 6 million. And then like a couple hours later, I checked in and it was like 8 million, just like within that couple of hours. And it's like, it's hitting home for a lot of people. And so I think he's a really good lyricist for being able to like speak to so many people, because I know they don't have the exact same experience I have, but these lyrics are great. Um, the next song is called American Cars, and the lyrics that I liked in this one was, "Because you're going to fix this, you're going to patch us up, because honey, we're fragile and you've always been so tough. You know that I miss you. You always come running back whenever I ask." And this one is like, makes me think of like family dynamics where growing up I was always told like, "Oh, you're the tough one. You're the peacemaker. You're the one who puts us all back together," and everything like that. And it's like really tough to listen to that lyric, to be like, yeah, because if you ask me, there I am again trying to help you guys out. Um, Yeah, so thanks Noah Khan for ruining my life. Not really. Then we go to Staying Still, which is the song I was really hoping was going to be on this album.
Mhm.
Uh, and this, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm trying not to cry just reading these lyrics to you guys. But this one says, never mind, never mind, I'll forget about it. I'll be good, I'll be fine, I can laugh about it. I tried to keep on starting over, sleeping in a bed half empty. All love must leave, but search for it I will. Honey, tell me, are you good at staying still? And I'm like, okay, just freaking sing about my life again. Where it's like I've always been that person where I'm like, oh yeah, no, don't worry about me. Um, I can laugh about like my trauma and stuff. Uh, and then I like for years I was moving every 4 months. Like I was not good at staying still, and like I would drop friends. I would just move on to the next bit because it's like I could not stay still, and I was always changing. And I think this is like the longest I've ever stayed somewhere. Um, these past since like 2022, it's been like the longest I've ever stayed anywhere, and so it's like yeah, it feels more like my old self, but still it's like, Noah Khan, where's your cameras? Why are you looking at my life and writing a whole album about it? Um,
Like, actually, this other line, I listened to some of this album, not the whole thing, because I figured you would probably talk about it. Um, but I like the put in the love, put in the hours, put in ceremony, as I was, how you were, what was there before me, never mind, never mind, oh forget about it. I'll be good, I'll be fine, I can laugh about it. I liked that line. I did this was one of the songs that I did listen to. Um and the easy way to just push off problems. And I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but the song that I listened to that I was by far my favorite was the Deny, Deny, Deny. Are you talking about that one next?
let's see. I think that's one of the ones I wasn't going to talk about because I would have just written down every single lyric to
Deny,
it.
Deny, Deny is great, but it's
Hmm.
just stupid good. But
Yeah.
a lot of this album seems to be about like wordly neglect and even neglect to like yourself and the emotions that you have. And he's an incredible lyricist. Um, and this Deny, Deny, Deny was one of the closest songs to how I feel about how I process problems, because so often I'm just like, oh, I don't really like that, and I literally just push it out of my brain. Nope, that doesn't even exist. I become 100% blind to it. And there's this, oh, tell me that you were broken. Do you still have a heart? Or has somebody stole it, but I'm far too tired. So I'll watch you lie. Let's just watch TV. And how many times have I literally just turned on a TV show because I don't want to deal with whatever the problem is? It is a major problem that I have. And the next part is I'll get your house paid off so the feds can't touch it. Another thing we don't talk about anymore. Don't worry, I won't bring it up. You scream at me when I come home drunk, and it's fine. I know the company line. When I ask about the past, you deny, deny, deny. And it's great. This is a fantastic song. Yeah, and the album, what I have listened to it, is very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I kind of cut you off. Go to the next song.
Yeah, no, you're good. Actually, to like add on to Deny, 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 it's funny because like I saw that in a different way of like when I've been doing some work on myself and like I started trying talking to my family about it and they would deny everything that happened that I would bring up.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, hmm. Or because like there's definitely times that I protected my mom and I always got mad because my mom called the boys her protectors and I was like, I was literally the one protecting you. And then whenever I would like try to bring that up, deny, deny, deny. And so like that lyric where he's like, I paid your house off so the feds can't touch it, but we don't talk about it. It's like, oh yeah, we don't talk about the things that I do for you because you only want to talk about the things that I don't. Um, and yeah, so Deny has a lot of a lot of stuff for
Nuance.
me on that.
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah, so I'm like, I was thinking about talking about Deny, but I know I'll keep going off if I do. So we'll just go to the next song, which is called Haircut. This one is like such a bop until you listen to the lyrics, which is this album. Um, there's like the lyrics, uh, not the lyrics, the chorus goes, the at least I got soul still, even if I'm in a bad place. Uh, and like, it's I really like listening to that one because it's like, yeah, I can still be me even if I'm in a bad space, if I'm not. And I know that's not like what the song's about. He talks about what the song's actually about, but I was like, well, for me, I listened to it, so now I get to tell you what it's about for me. And it's basically like the I'm still me, whether I'm in a bad place, eating fast food, being at my dad's place, at least like I'm still me. Uh, and then my only notes for Willing and Able is go and listen to it if you want to wreck your life. And then this is a song that's not on the album, but that I wish was on the album. Is a song that the lyrics go, "Please don't leave me yet. You're still a part of me. I'm taking backward steps without you next to me." This was a little snippet he put on TikTok, and I do not. He's had 6 years to finish this song. Noah Khan, finish this song, please. It needs to be on some sort of album. Um, anyway, so those are the songs I'll talk about this time. 10 out of 10 album for me. I've literally just been listening to it on loop. I don't skip any of the songs. Uh, I literally just went on a drive to Heber to listen to this thing, and it's so funny. I'll talk about it next part because it has the song that I think is funny. Um, but yeah, 10 out of 10. Everybody go listen to it. Have some tissues. Yeah. So move on from that and we'll go to our shared topic. And I believe this topic was suggested by Conlon. So I'll have you start.
Okay, His Girl Friday. This has been on my list for ever, really, really long time. Um, this is a really hard one for me to rate because I really like parts of this movie. Um, so the actors are Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell are the main two, and I think the script is really tight and very smart. Everything comes across really witty. I was listening to it with we had some friends over and we were watching it all together, and we had some friends who couldn't understand it because they were just talking so fast. I listened to basically everything on 2 times speed, so I didn't have that problem, and I appreciated all the story and all the nuance and all the smart ideas that they pushed into one cohesive script. My problem with the movie is basically the ending, honestly, because you go through this whole thing and Cary Grant is this like fast talking um, news owner, news team owner, and Rosalind is his ex fiance who he really wants to get back with because he still loves her, kind of, I guess. He's not really the greatest person in the entire world. So he does all of these different tricky, underhanded things to try to get Rosalind to realize that she's in love with the newspaper and she's in love with him, and that that she should stay with him and the newspaper. He does a bunch of like shady stuff, and he almost gets away with it. Or he gets away with it. That's the problem. He gets away with it, and Rosalind's like, okay, I'll stay with you at the very end of the movie. But he literally 2 seconds earlier, she figured out that Cary Grant's character had given Rosalind a bunch of fake money, and that resulted in her fiance going to jail. And she starts crying about it. And then literally 2 seconds later, she's like, we're good. Let's get back together. I'm staying forever. And it doesn't make any sense. Literally, if they would have changed the very last line of this to "You are just a trickster, you're a con man, and I'm leaving with my fiance," and then she just leaves and gets on the train, I would love this movie. But the ending literally ruins it, because otherwise like I said, it's really smart, it's well acted, it's clever. It's this story of a guy who accidentally commits murder, and the entire time he's like, I didn't mean to kill him, I didn't mean to kill him. And they have the story of the century on their hands, and the murderer escapes prison with the main officer's gun, and he's hiding, and Rosalind has him hiding in a desk because his love is with. Also, what the heck was with the guy who shoots the murderer and his fiance just jumping out the window? What the hell was that? I literally was like, "Am I what?" I'm being kind of all over the place with this review because this movie felt all over the place to me, and it was kind of a good thing until it wasn't. It just like it stayed on the line, and then it crossed it, and when it crossed it, it doesn't work, and I'm very sad about that because I love the first half of this movie. I'm not giving it a great score. I'm not even giving it a great review because I don't even know quite how to review it. Is it worth your time? I think so. I think it's worth watching for movie history. I think it's worth watching to see the acting. I think it is worth a watch, but it is only worth one. And so I'm going to give it a 6. And if the ending was different, I would give it much higher score. That's where I'm settling.
Oh, what about you, Josh?
Going to say about it because Josh, you're really good at breaking down movies that are a little bit more of a messy movie like this and doing it in a very distinct way. You're good at it. Lauren, I'm kind of stealing from you, but what did you think, Josh? I genuinely want to know.
So here's a bad side. My review is not changing at all from the last time I did it on this podcast. And my review
I forgot.
of this movie is I had a really good nap. One of the best naps I've had in a really long time.
Okay.
I cannot stay
Cool.
awake during this movie. I have tried it now 6 times. The furthest I
Dang.
have gotten is like 20 minutes. This movie, at least the first 20 minutes, is some of the most boring movie I have ever seen in my entire life. There was a movie
That's crazy to
Lauren
me.
talked about last year where she's like, I kept trying to watch this movie and I kept falling asleep.
Oh, it was the
And
one with Chris Evans.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
thought
that's
it
this
was.
movie to me. I cannot watch this movie. I would say this is not worth a watch because anything like I am notorious for like if it is new, even if I don't like it or I'm bored by it, I don't fall asleep. I genuinely feel like I owe it to the movie makers to stay awake at the very least. And this one, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm bored. This sucks. Like the
That's too
oldness
bad.
feels old. I can't speak towards any of the plot points because everything Conlon just said, I know nothing about. Not a thing. No idea. I know that I had a good nap. That's what I can say. If you want a really good nap, that's where I can say I recommend this movie more than any other movie because it was genuinely a great nap. But that's all I could say to it. I don't have anything else to say.
Lauren, before I switched over to Josh, you were going to ask a question. What was the question?
Oh no, I was telling Josh just tell his side.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
yeah, no, I have to agree with Josh on this one.
Did you fall asleep too? Dang it! What the heck, guys?
But I can tell you that I was really annoyed with the news anchor dude. I was like, and then she's like, "Nope, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be with my fiance or whatever." And then I hated that she kept like she knew that her ex was doing something, but she kept letting him do things, and so I kind of got mad at her, and then I just felt bad for the fiance most of the time, and I was just getting frustrated. And I was like, nobody deserves anybody here. I hope the fiance gets a really good job, and that he gets a lot of money and a lot of dogs.
He's not a bad guy at all.
No, I hated her, and I hated the news dude. I do agree with you that I do like how quick the script was, though. And like I caught on a lot of the jokes, but I was like, that's kind of weird with the timing of things because now you have like the comedic timings of like letting the joke sit. They did not let jokes sit. They were like, we're
No.
going.
Yeah, it
um,
felt like a movie on like on a faster speed. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, my one of the people we brought over literally asked if we had this on a 1.5 speed.
I mean, that's fair. But yeah, I fell asleep after they went to the restaurant. No, wait. He got the check for the life insurance. That's where I fell asleep.
Okay. Yeah, you were pretty maybe a third of the way through the movie,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, take that check and run. Leave her. Like, she's not worth it. He's not worth it. She's not worth it. I felt bad for the fiance. And I'm glad I didn't finish it because I was like, I'll be so angry if she ends up back with her ex husband. So I'm glad I didn't finish it and then I had a good nap.
Okay, guys.
So 10 out of 10 for naps. And I probably like 4. I really hated the two main characters other than the other third one. But
Okay, guys.
yeah,
We just have a hard time with old movies, I guess. Because what
we
was the other
do.
one that I recommended? The Secret Agent one, where it's kind of the same thing. Like this has everything to be
Yeah.
good, but holy crap, I'm so bored.
Yeah, and then I think I also slept through that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you both did.
There's just like something about old movies I think that are just like, oh, it's Sunday, we're putting on an old movie and that's where we go to sleep.
For those of us who grew up with TV Land, yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with it. I just think it's we've gotten better at making movies over time.
I agree.
And so when we go to these older movies, they're not as fleshed out, right? They were made on smaller budgets. They were traditionally made by just like one or two people, whereas today we have like teams of writers, we have directors, teams of producers, executive producers, people who overlook things. We even call in like experts, like I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but they brought in Neil deGrasse Tyson to fix this night sky in the movie Titanic. Like, they just weren't doing that kind of stuff. So traditionally, these movies were one person or two people or like a small team have an idea and they're just going to go out and make it. And so they get the funding, they get the funding by getting people like Hugh Grant and all these, bigger names to help support the movie. And then they go out and they just make it. And then we also have less chance to do editing because it was filmed on real film. So you get that kind of issues with it too. Whereas now it's all digital, so we can mix with cuts a lot easier. So it may be tight and fast paced, but it's not as well thought out or pushed through as it would be today.
I agree with most of what you're saying, other than some of the wittiness of the dialogue and the quickness of the dialogue was very impressive to me. There were parts of this movie that feel genuinely like, um, what is that show called? The one with the jury that's really, really like crazy
Angry
good.
12 Men. or
Yeah,
12
12
Angry,
Angry Men,
12 Angry Men.
where it's really witty in their dialogue choices. And there were parts of this that felt like that with the script quality. And I think there are very few new movies that have that level of script quality.
I,
Very, very,
I'm
very,
not
very few.
saying the old movies have worse script quality. I
Okay.
wasn't speaking about the quality, just the quantity of eyes that get on it. So there's
Okay.
less issues with like an ending getting pieced
That
together,
doesn't make
right?
sense.
So more people look at it and more people are there to say, actually, there's an issue with this. Hey, that goes a little bit fast paced. Can we slow it down? Right. Today, movies we talk about agenda and messages way more in the production phase, whereas back then it was a conversation had at the conclusion phase,
Okay.
right? Like
Good point.
producers and writers will sit down and be like, what message do we want to say with this movie? What agenda are we pushing? What kind of things, right? Those are conversations that are have had now more often than they were had in the past. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, with that, we are watching something this week. I cannot pull
The
up my
Long
thing.
Walk.
The Long Walk. There we go. I'm like, somehow I lost all of my notes. The Long Walk, if you guys want to join us for that for next week. And we hope you guys have a good week and that you cried to Noah Khan's new album.
Nice.
Bye.
Yes.